First Contact Day was supposed to be humanity's grandest moment. Instead, it became the day the Nexeri Empire realized they had made a terrible miscalculation. Admiral Vestrakarn stood on the bridge of the Nexeri flagship Eternal Dawn, watching Earth's orbital stations with barely concealed disdain. Her crystalline skin reflected the dim starlight as she turned to her strategic advisor. "These humans have barely mastered basic space travel," she said, mandibles clicking in amusement. "Their most advanced stations are primitive compared to our colonial outposts. Subjugation should be simple." The Nexeri Empire had dominated 12 star systems through superior technology and military might. Earth would be their 13th conquest, or so they thought. What the Nexeri failed to grasp was that humanity's strength lay not in their current technological achievement, but in their unprecedented rate of adaptation. Commander Rajpatul of the United Earth Defense Force received the Nexeri ultimatum with remarkable calm. The message was clear: submit to Nexeri rule or face annihilation. As he sat in the underground war room of UEDF headquarters in Geneva, surrounded by holographic displays showing the overwhelming Nexeri fleet, he smiled. "They've already lost," he said to his bewildered staff. "They just don't know it yet." The Nexeri Empire had expected immediate capitulation. Instead, they received a request for a 1-month negotiation period. Admiral Karn granted this request, seeing it as a sign of human weakness and fear. In reality, it was the first move in humanity's unconventional defense strategy. During those 30 days, humanity demonstrated why they would become legendary among the galaxy's civilizations. While the Nexeri fleet maintained their intimidating presence in orbit, Earth's industries underwent a transformation that would have been impossible for any other species. Car manufacturers retooled their production lines to create spacecraft components. Gaming console manufacturers repurposed their processors for military targeting systems. Toy drone companies began producing combat drones. The entire planet moved with a unified purpose that left the Nexeri observers puzzled, and though they wouldn't admit it, concerned. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka led the first demonstration of humanity's rapid adaptation. Her team had discovered that the Nexeri's advanced shielding technology operated on principles similar to noise-canceling headphones. Within 2 weeks, they had modified Earth's entertainment sound systems into shield-disrupting weapons. The Nexeri's first warning came when a seemingly harmless civilian transport approached one of their patrol ships. The transport was broadcasting what the Nexeri assumed was human music, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. By the time they realized the music had been modified to create a resonance cascade in their shields, it was too late. The patrol ship's defenses collapsed, leaving it vulnerable to a swarm of repurposed mining drones. Admiral Karn watched in disbelief as the patrol ship's crew evacuated in escape pods. "Impossible," she whispered. "Their technology is centuries behind ours." But the humans were just getting started. Industrial 3D printing facilities began mass-producing spacecraft designed specifically to exploit weaknesses in Nexeri technology. Social media algorithms were repurposed to predict Nexeri fleet movements with shocking accuracy. Even the planet's entertainment industry played its part, creating propaganda that united Earth's population while seeding doubt among the Nexeri's lower ranks. Commander Patel's most brilliant move came 3 weeks into the negotiation period. He leaked information about Earth's secret weapon, a detailed fabrication that sent the Nexeri intelligence community into a paranoid frenzy. The Nexeri diverted significant resources to defend against a weapon that didn't exist, while humanity prepared their actual strategies. As the negotiation period neared its end, Admiral Karn realized her mistake. The humans hadn't been stalling out of fear. They had been preparing. Their entire civilization had transformed itself into a war machine, not through central planning, but through millions of individuals and organizations innovating simultaneously. The Nexeri Empire had expected to face a primitive military force. Instead, they found themselves confronting an entire species that could adapt faster than any civilization they had ever encountered. Each Nexeri tactical advantage was met with dozens of innovative countermeasures. Every strategic move was answered with hundreds of unexpected responses. When the negotiation period ended, Commander Patel sent a simple message to the Nexari fleet. "We're ready to discuss terms. Your surrender or your withdrawal." Admiral Karn received the message with a new understanding of her opponent. The Nexari had conquered 12 star systems through superior technology and military might. But they had never faced an enemy like humanity, a species that could transform itself entirely in the space of a month, that could turn everyday items into weapons, and that seemed to thrive on the very challenge of facing a superior foe. As she prepared her response, Admiral Karn finally understood why her superiors had warned her about Earth. It wasn't humanity's current capabilities that made them dangerous. It was their potential, their ability to look at a superior force and see not an invincible enemy, but a challenge to overcome through creativity, adaptability, and sheer determination. The first battle in the war for Earth was over, and humanity had won without firing a single traditional shot. It would not be the last time the galaxy would learn why humans always triumph, nor would it be the last time an advanced civilization would learn the hard way that technology alone does not determine the outcome of conflicts. The Nexari Empire's response to Commander Patel's ultimatum came in the form of a massive assault. Admiral Karn might have recognized humanity's potential, but the Empire's high command refused to accept defeat before the first true battle. What followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The initial Nexari strike targeted Earth's largest military installations, their energy weapons carved through the atmosphere, only to find empty bases and abandoned facilities. Lieutenant Tanaka's predictive algorithms had given Earth's forces hours of advance warning. The humans had turned their understanding of social media behavior patterns into a tool for predicting alien military strategies, something the Nexari command structure couldn't begin to comprehend. "They fight like water," observed First Strategist Ixel, watching from the Eternal Dawn's command center. "Strike at them, and they flow around the blow. Try to contain them, and they find every crack in your defenses." The Nexari's second wave targeted Earth's industrial centers, expecting to cripple human production capabilities. Instead, they found thousands of small, distributed manufacturing facilities. The humans had decentralized their entire industrial base in just 3 weeks, spreading it across countless small facilities in homes, garages, and underground shelters. Captain Marcus Henderson led the first human counterattack from his flagship, the Ingenuity, a converted cargo vessel that embodied humanity's approach to warfare. The ship's hull was reinforced with ablative armor made from recycled plastics and ceramics. Its weapon systems were a combination of repurposed mining lasers and modified satellite communication arrays. The Nexari scanners couldn't make sense of it. The ship appeared to be held together by improvisation and determination. "Begin Operation Echo," Henderson commanded. Across Earth's orbit, hundreds of similar converted vessels moved into position. Each one was broadcasting a different frequency of modified music, creating a complex web of interference that played havoc with Nexari targeting systems. Admiral Karn watched in growing frustration as her fleet's precision weapons became increasingly unreliable. The humans had turned their understanding of music theory and acoustics into a defensive screen that no Nexari engineer had ever conceived possible. Ships that cost a fraction of what a single Nexari vessel was worth were neutralizing the Empire's most advanced weapons. But the true genius of humanity's strategy became apparent when the Nexari attempted to adapt. Every time they modified their systems to counter a human tactic, they found the humans had already moved on to something new. Earth's forces never relied on the same approach twice, making it impossible to develop effective countermeasures. Dr. Aisha Rahman, head of Earth's Adaptive Technologies Division, had developed what she called the Evolutionary Defense Protocol. Every engagement with the Nexari was analyzed not just by military strategists, but by artists, musicians, gamers, and civilians from all walks of life. Each perspective offered new ways to repurpose existing technology for combat. The Nexari think in terms of military doctrine, Dr. Rahman explained to Commander Patel. We think in terms of possibilities. They see a communications satellite and think of it as a communications satellite. We see it and think of 12 different ways it could be used to confuse their sensors, disrupt their shields, or coordinate our forces. The breaking point came during the Battle of Luna. The Nexari committed a third of their fleet to destroy what they believed was Earth's primary command center hidden on the moon. What they found instead was an elaborate trap. The humans had turned the moon's surface into a giant reflector, using millions of small mirrors to amplify and redirect solar energy. The Nexari fleet found itself caught in a web of focused sunlight that overwhelmed their thermal management systems. As Nexari ships began to withdraw from lunar orbit, their commanders received thousands of transmissions from Earth. Each one was a different piece of music, layered with encoded tactical data that their systems couldn't filter out. The combined effect created a symphony of chaos in their command and control networks. Admiral Karn stood on her bridge, watching the tactical displays dissolve into meaningless patterns. They've turned their entire culture into a weapon, she realized. Every song, every game, every piece of entertainment, they'd found ways to use it all against us. The Nexari Empire had never encountered an enemy that could weaponize their entire civilization so effectively. Their military doctrine was based on overwhelming force and superior technology. But against humans, superior technology meant little when your enemy could transform everyday items into unexpected threats. First strategist Ixel submitted his analysis to the Empire's high command. The humans don't see war as a separate discipline from their daily lives. They adapt everything they know, everything they create, into potential tactical advantages. We cannot predict their strategies because they don't think in terms of traditional military doctrine. They think in terms of endless possibilities. As the Nexari fleet regrouped beyond lunar orbit, Captain Henderson's voice came across all frequencies, carried by the same modified music that had disrupted their systems. This is what you face if you continue this war. Not just our military, but our entire civilization. Every song we sing, every game we play, every story we tell, all of it can and will be turned against you. Still think we're primitive. The art of adaptation had proven more powerful than any weapon in the Nexari arsenal. But this was only the beginning of humanity's demonstration of why they always triumph. The next phase would show the galaxy that humans could wage war without firing a single shot and still emerge victorious. After the Battle of Luna, Commander Patel initiated the next phase of Earth's strategy. While the Nexari expected a military follow-up to their defeat, humanity instead launched an economic offensive that would rewrite the rules of interstellar warfare. Military power flows from economic strength, explained Zora Merchant, Earth's newly appointed director of strategic commerce. The Nexari Empire isn't just a military force, it's an economic entity, and every economy has pressure points. Within days of the lunar battle, human traders and businesses began a campaign that appeared random and disorganized to Nexari observers. Small merchant ships darted through gaps in the Nexari blockade, carrying seemingly worthless cargo. The Nexari didn't bother to stop most of them. After all, what harm could civilian trading vessels do to an imperial economy? The answer came 3 weeks later. The first sign of trouble appeared in the Nexari colony world of Kilora Prime. The price of crystalline fuel, the foundation of Nexari technology, suddenly spiked. Investigation revealed that human traders had been quietly purchasing massive amounts through third-party intermediaries, creating an artificial shortage. Economic warfare isn't about destroying resources, Merchant explained to Earth's Leadership Council. It's about controlling them. But the humans hadn't just been buying fuel. They had been mapping the entire Nexari economic network, identifying key suppliers, trade routes, and dependencies. Each small trading mission provided another piece of the puzzle, building a complete picture of the Empire's economic vulnerabilities. The second phase of the economic offensive targeted the Nexari's currency itself. Earth's quantum computing networks, originally designed for cryptocurrency mining, were repurposed to predict and exploit fluctuations in the imperial credit. Small human trading firms began making seemingly random trades that, when viewed as a whole, formed a precise pattern of economic pressure. Admiral Karn watched helplessly as her fleet's operating costs soared. "They're not attacking our ships," she reported to the Imperial Senate. "They're attacking our ability to maintain them." The true masterstroke came from an unexpected source. Tej Patel, Commander Patel's teenage daughter, had noticed something in her economic history studies. "The Nexeri Empire expanded too quickly," she told her father. "They haven't fully integrated their conquered world's economies. Each one still has its own local trading networks and economic traditions." This observation led to Operation Market Storm. Earth began offering specialized trade deals to each Nexeri colony world, carefully tailored to their local economies. Worlds that had been reluctant members of the Empire suddenly found themselves with alternative trading partners who understood and respected their unique economic needs. The Nexeri Senate was thrown into chaos. Colony worlds began demanding economic autonomy. The cost of maintaining their massive fleet was becoming unsustainable. And through it all, human traders continued their intricate dance through space, each small transaction part of a larger strategy that was slowly but surely unraveling the Empire's economic fabric. Observe how they use information as a weapon. First strategist Ixel noted in his final report before resigning his position, "Every trade reveals our weaknesses while concealing their strategy. They don't need to destroy our economy. They're simply showing our own citizens better alternatives." The humans had even turned the Nexeri Empire's technological superiority against itself. The complex shield systems and energy weapons that made their fleet so formidable required constant maintenance and expensive resources. By controlling the flow of these resources, Earth could effectively ground entire battle groups without firing a shot. Director Merchant's crowning achievement came in the form of the Open Markets Initiative. Earth began broadcasting detailed economic data, showing how independent trading relationships could benefit every world in the galaxy. The message was clear. The age of economic empires was ending, replaced by a network of mutual prosperity. The Nexeri built their empire on the assumption that advanced technology and military might were the keys to power. Director Merchant addressed the newly formed Galactic Economic Council. "We're showing the galaxy that true strength comes from understanding the complex web of relationships that bind civilizations together." Imperial economists watched in horror as their carefully constructed economic system began to crumble. Colony worlds weren't just trading with Earth. They were adopting human economic innovations, creating their own decentralized trading networks that bypassed imperial control entirely. Admiral Karn stood in the Imperial Senate chamber, delivering what would become a historic speech. "We face an enemy that defeats us not through superior firepower, but through superior understanding. They've turned our own economic strength into a weakness, our own technology into a burden. And they've done it all without destroying a single imperial vessel." The message to the galaxy was clear. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their ability to fight, but their ability to transform the very nature of the conflict. They had turned economics into a battlefield where superior military technology meant nothing. But even as the Nexeri Empire's economic foundation began to crack, humanity was preparing their next move. They had demonstrated their mastery of adaptation and economic warfare. Now, they would show the galaxy something even more powerful: their ability to turn enemies into allies. As the Nexeri Empire grappled with economic turmoil, humanity unveiled perhaps their most formidable weapon: their extraordinary ability to forge alliances with the most unlikely of partners. This phase of the conflict would reveal why humans were truly unique in the galaxy. Director Isabella Torres of Earth's Interstellar Relations Bureau had a saying: "In space, no one succeeds alone." While the Nexeri Empire had built its power through conquest and subjugation, humanity began reaching out to every species that had ever felt the Empire's shadow. The first breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The Drachnid, a species of nomadic space traders whom the Nexeri had dismissed as irrelevant, approached Earth with an intriguing proposal. They had watched humanity's economic strategy with great interest. "Your species understands something fundamental that the Nexeri never grasped," explained Vexthor, the Drachnid chief trader. "Power isn't about control, it's about connection." The alliance with the Drachnid opened doors that the Nexeri didn't even know existed. The nomadic traders had spent centuries mapping unofficial trade routes, building relationships with forgotten colonies, and understanding the true dynamics of galactic commerce. With their help, Earth's economic strategy gained new dimensions. Commander Patol worked closely with Ambassador Kira Novak to implement what they called the Constellation Protocol. Unlike traditional military alliances, this was a web of mutual support that transcended simple military or economic cooperation. Each member brought unique strengths that complemented the others. The Sylphid, a species of energy beings whom the Nexeri had long ignored due to their lack of physical military power, proved invaluable. Their ability to interface directly with computer systems, combined with human creativity, created defense networks that the Nexeri's most advanced AI couldn't penetrate. "Humans have a remarkable quality," observed Zephyr, a Sylphid elder. "They don't see limitations, they see possibilities. When we showed them our ability to merge with computer systems, they didn't just see a technical capability. They saw a way to create something entirely new." The alliance grew in unexpected ways. The Meridians, former adversaries of Earth in a brief border dispute, joined after witnessing humanity's economic strategy. Their expertise in plasma technology, combined with human innovation, led to the development of new defensive systems that could neutralize Nexeri weapons while using minimal energy. Admiral Karn watched with growing concern as former Imperial subjects began declaring their independence, protected not by military might, but by a complex web of mutual support agreements. "They're not building an empire," she realized. "They're growing a garden." The most stunning development came when several lower-ranking Nexeri commanders, impressed by humanity's approach, began secretly sharing information with Earth. They weren't betraying their empire, they insisted. They were helping it evolve. Lieutenant Commander Jaxil, a Nexeri tactical officer, explained in an encrypted transmission, "Humans showed us that true strength doesn't come from domination. It comes from collaboration. Each species brings unique perspectives, unique abilities. Together, we're stronger than any empire could ever be." The Constellation Protocol soon expanded beyond military and economic cooperation. Cultural exchanges flourished. The Drachnid's trading expertise combined with human marketing innovation. Sylphid digital artistry merged with human storytelling. Meridian engineering fused with human adaptability. Ambassador Novak's crowning achievement was the establishment of the Galactic Cooperation Initiative. Unlike traditional alliances focused on defense or trade, this was a framework for sharing knowledge, culture, and resources. Each member maintained their independence while contributing to the collective strength of the network. The Nexeri Empire sees the galaxy as a hierarchy to be conquered. Ambassador Novak addressed the first Galactic Cooperation Summit. "We see it as a network to be nurtured. Every species has something unique to contribute. Every voice adds to the harmony." The impact on the Nexeri Empire was profound. Their traditional tactics of divide and conquer proved useless against an alliance that grew stronger with each attempt to break it. Their technological advantages meant little against a network that could adapt and evolve faster than any single species. First strategist Ixel's final report before defecting to the alliance was succinct. "We cannot defeat them because they have redefined victory. While we sought to conquer the galaxy, they have shown everyone a better way to live in it." The humans had demonstrated that true power wasn't about having the strongest weapons or the most advanced technology. It was about building connections, understanding different perspectives, and creating something greater than the sum of its parts. But even as the alliance grew and the Nexeri Empire's grip on power weakened, humanity had one final lesson to teach the galaxy. The true measure of triumph isn't just in winning. It's in how you handle victory. The final phase of the conflict between humanity and the Nexari Empire revealed perhaps the most crucial aspect of why humans always triumph. Their understanding that true victory lies not in defeating an enemy, but in transforming the very nature of the conflict itself. As the Nexari Empire's power continued to wane, humanity faced a crucial decision. They could have pressed their advantage, dismantling the empire completely. Instead, they chose a path that would reshape galactic civilization. The greatest victory, Commander Patel addressed the United Earth Council, is not the one that creates new enemies, but the one that creates new allies. Operation Phoenix, as it became known, was perhaps the most audacious strategy in human military history. Instead of seeking the Empire's destruction, humanity proposed its transformation. The plan was spearheaded by Dr. Nina Volkov, a specialist in cultural integration and social evolution. The Nexari Empire isn't our enemy, Dr. Volkov explained at the Galactic Cooperation Summit. It's a potential partner trapped in an outdated paradigm. Our task isn't to defeat them, but to help them evolve. The first phase of Operation Phoenix shocked both the Empire's loyalists and Earth's allies. Humanity offered to share their adaptive technology and economic innovations with the Nexari, no strings attached. Admiral Karn, who had begun to understand human thinking, recognized the brilliance of the strategy. "They're not giving away secrets," she told the Imperial Senate. "They're offering us a chance to grow beyond our limitations." The offer created a schism within the Empire. Traditional hardliners saw it as a trick, but a growing faction of reformers, led by younger Nexari leaders, recognized the opportunity. The Empire had always prided itself on superiority through advancement. Here was a chance to advance in ways they hadn't considered. Commander Patel worked closely with Nexari reformers to implement what became known as the Integration Protocol. Rather than dismantling Imperial infrastructure, it would be reproposed. Massive warships were converted into trading vessels and exploration craft. Military production facilities were transformed into innovation centers where different species could collaborate on new technologies. "The humans understand something fundamental about the universe," noted reformed Imperial scholar Texera. "Progress isn't a zero-sum game. When we share knowledge and resources, everyone becomes stronger." The transformation wasn't smooth. Several hardline Imperial factions attempted to resist, launching desperate attacks against both Earth and reformist Nexari worlds. But these actions only served to demonstrate the effectiveness of the new cooperative approach. Combined human Nexari defense forces, supported by their various allies, contained these threats with minimal casualties. The turning point came during the Battle of New Dawn. A hardline Imperial fleet attacked a joint human Nexari research station. The station's defenders included former enemies working together, using combinations of technologies that would have been impossible for any single species to develop. The attackers found themselves facing defenses that adapted to their tactics in real time, backed by economic and logistical support from a dozen different species. Watch closely. First strategist Ixel, now an advocate for reform, told his students, "This is how humans truly win, not by destroying their opponents, but by making their opposition irrelevant." As the reformed empire integrated into the galactic community, humanity's final lesson became clear. The Nexari had sought power through dominance, but humans showed that true power comes through collaboration, adaptation, and persistent evolution. Ambassador Novik's address to the First Galactic Unity Conference became required study in diplomatic academies across known space. The question isn't who has the strongest weapons or the most advanced technology. The question is who can build the strongest connections, forge the most effective partnerships, and adapt most readily to change. In this, humanity doesn't triumph because we're superior. We triumph because we understand that victory means growing together. Admiral Karn, now serving as the Reformed Empire's representative to the Galactic Cooperation Initiative, added her own observation. "Humans taught us that persistence isn't about refusing to change. It's about persistently seeking better ways to coexist. The conflict that began with an imperial ultimatum ended not with surrender documents, but with collaboration treaties. The massive Nexari warships that once threatened Earth now carried mixed crews of humans, Nexari, and other species on missions of exploration and discovery. The economic networks that humans had used to challenge imperial power became the foundation for a new era of galactic prosperity. As the final imperial holdouts integrated into the new galactic society, Commander Puddle reflected on humanity's journey. Our greatest weapon was never our ability to fight, he noted in his memoirs. It was our ability to imagine and create better alternatives. We triumph not because we're the strongest or the most advanced, but because we never stop looking for ways to turn opponents into partners, challenges into opportunities, and conflicts into collaboration. The galaxy had learned why humans always triumph in every battle, because they understand that the greatest victories don't end with defeat, but with transformation. This lesson would shape galactic civilization for millennia to come, as new challenges arose and new opportunities for cooperation emerged. The human legacy wasn't one of conquest or dominion, but of persistent evolution toward ever greater forms of collaboration and mutual growth.